Welcome, 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 and thank you for joining today's show. We have such a special guest joining us today, and to say that we are excited is a massive understatement. We've been following this guy's work for some time now, and we have dreamt about getting him on our show, and today he is here. JuanPa, as he is known, is a speaker, entrepreneur, embodiment master, energy healer, holistic yoga teacher, and coach. He has been studying ancestral wisdom with shamans since the age of 9 and integrates many of these tools into his work fused with modern day science. As a founder of Quantum Flow Institute, he has created a life-changing programs that are globally recognized and shared. And I know this firsthand as I've been through a lot of JuanPa's programs, and I can attest to the huge impact they have had on my life and the people I've connected with through the Quantum Flow family. So welcome to the show, my friend. It is great to have you here.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, guys. So grateful to be here. And I love what you guys are doing. Thank you for approaching this niche of people that really need to understand the nervous system and how we're made and what's really going on and why do we get stressed and how can we shift that without complicating ourselves? Because I know usually I was one of them, right? We're already too complicated to get like so many tools that you need in order to bring yourself back to being in peace and harmony, right? So thank you for doing this, guys. Really, really grateful to be here.
Exactly. Thank you so much. So listen, JuanPa, could you please just give us a little bit of an intro for our listeners that maybe haven't actually heard of you? I'll be surprised because yourself and Reagan are just going out there changing the world, total power couple and role models for people like us as well. So I would love for you to just give us a bit of background, who you are, how did you end up with what you're doing today?
Thank you. Yeah, it's interesting you say that now, like, we're traveling all over and like social media, like such a beautiful community and so many people inspired and stuff, but it never started like that, right? Like for me, my life was actually very challenging. And it started when I was 9 years old, and my brother had this huge epilepsy attack, and all of a sudden we were in the hospital, and they gave him, okay, the most he'll live is 1 to 2 years. And my whole world crumbled. Like I was done. He was my best friend, right? Like almost my father, because I had a very distant father. So just hit me very hard. And I remember like telling my family, like, this is not possible. Tell me there's another way, that we're gonna look for another way. This is not true, right? And they were like almost yes and no, but I could feel how the power of the whole family and like wanting him to live really got us into this like fifth dimensional path, right? Where we weren't into like the typical whatever the doctors say and that's the ultimate truth. We're open to different philosophies and different ways to approaching the brain and the nervous system and what's really going on inside of him and how we can help him. So we went deep into all kinds of healers and shamans, like anyone, like anything new out there, we were in, right? And I was like, from a very young age, drinking smoothies and like doing yoga and breath and meditation and all of it, right? Because my brother was doing it, and why not? Like, be with him in support and do whatever it takes to help him. And I really committed, and I loved seeing like the progress he would have. Like he would come from being like almost a vegetable, he couldn't move, to like starting to move his left side and his right side paralyzed, but his left side starting to move and be alive. And he started walking, and then he started running, and then he started just doing a regular life. You know, it took us around 10 years to do that. But yeah, he's a miracle to the regular doctors, but he's a normal case to many of the people that work this way and don't have these limiting beliefs that it's just one way, right? So this really opened me up into all possibilities, exploring every possibility that I could to help others. I could see like so many families struggling with the same, and I'm like, this is not fair. Like, how many people are gonna die with just the last answer is what the last doctor said, and that's it. There's nothing else to do. So I really committed to go deep into everything I had already studied with him, but really study it. So I went into kinesiology, hypnotherapy, Chinese medicine, Ayurveda, yoga, Tantra, breathwork, Qigong, energy matrix, NLP, like anything I could find, like to open up and really understand the science, because I'm a scientist. I have a rational mind. So I wasn't just enough looking at the shamans doing their own thing and healing him. It worked. I knew it worked, but I needed to know. And I think that's what took like my work to the next level, because many people don't believe because they don't understand what's going on. But my whole career has been understanding what goes on in the nervous system, the brain, the muscles, the organs, how everything is related to the electricity in the body. And really, for you to live healthy and a beautiful, powerful life, all you need to do is come back to your natural state through the electricity in your nervous system. If your electricity is buzzing at 110 and your body can hold 110, you're in the perfect state. But if you're buzzing too much, if you're at 130, 140, 150, right, and your body can only hold 110, that's when we stress out, and that's when like we can't enjoy life and we can't sleep well and we just can't be in peace. We always have to be doing something. So when we learn about the nervous system and understand how it works, then it just becomes an art. Science and art mixed together, and it's a beautiful journey back to our natural state where it just feels good. Feels good who we are. Feels good loving life. Like not having to love life because of what I do and how many titles I have and how much money I have. That's a result. But I just love life because life is, because I am, and it just feels so good. Even if I'm, living in the streets right now. I work with people from the streets. Like one of my things at 21 years old, I went out to give back to the world because I had a big, big crisis at 19 years old. And at 21, I decided to give back because I healed myself. So I went back and got people from the streets, children and people, bummers, just people that were like ready to die. And I brought them back to a community we had, and we just gave them all the fundamentals to connect back to their souls and to be happy, having nothing and being a nobody. And they were one of the happiest people I've known in the world, right? So it's like, oh, okay. And then I would say 10 years after, I'm working with billionaires and, people that are like elite athletes and whatever, stars in Hollywood, whatever. For me, it's all the same, but it's just like a totally different mindset and lifestyle. And when you see them and you analyze their lives, they're less happy than the other guys. They're even more empty. They need even more work than the guy that lives on the street, which it doesn't take that much to really like get them understanding. Sometimes there's so much ego. There's so much thinking I am something, or I know so much, or I have so much money that I'm going to treat you one way or the other, or life should be one way or the other. And they're the ones that suffer the most, because sooner or later, it doesn't go the way we want. We can't control certain things, right? So I've been through all of it. It's been my passion to help people and all kinds of people. And what I can say is like, it's one nervous system, it's one brain. We're all the same. It doesn't matter whatever your external reality is. We can all heal. We can all live amazing, powerful lives if we start that work from within.
So beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing that. And I just listening to that and just resonate with so many aspects of your story. Like when you were talking about that, being open to other modalities of healing as opposed to just taking a doctor's word for what happened. I went through that same process. I obviously suffered from chronic back pain for about 4 years, and I went to doctor. I had injections in my spine. I tried physiotherapy. I tried everything. Nothing was working. And I was in that egoic mindset of if it has to be a physical problem. It has to, which means it has to be a physical fix. I didn't know any other way until I started to kind of question why all this stuff wasn't working, why after years of trying it wasn't working. And that's when I started to tap into breath, into my body. And that's when after about 2 weeks of doing that, tapping in, my pain went completely. After 4 years of chronic pain, it disappeared. And that's when I started to think, oh my God, there's something going on here. There's a connection. And like you said, it's that energy, it's allowing, it's understanding and allowing yourself to, and putting yourself into that environment internally to let your body do, like you said, what its natural state is. Its natural state is to keep you healthy and strong. And as long as you create that environment internally, you can heal from anything. And yeah, it can take, like you said, it can take months, it can take years, but your body will do what it is created to do. It will do what it is designed to do. It will do what it is very good at doing, which is keeping you healthy if you give it the right tools to do so. So I'm a huge believer in that. Like there's more than one way to do something. There is definitely not. If the doctor says something and that's that, doesn't mean it's true. It's just about questioning it and saying, okay, there must be another way. There's always another way. And it's just asking those questions and being open-minded to trying things that you've never thought of before. And I think that's where that power comes in, is just being open and receptive to whatever shows up or whatever comes in, to be able to help yourself live at your most optimized standard, I think.
Yeah, and I always love, listening to the, allopathic medicine. I'm not against it. I just know it's not complete. There's so much more. So, we kept going with the allopathic doctor, like supporting my brother, but at the same time with the holistic doctors, holistic medicine, like Chinese medicine full on. We were working, we did everything we could. He started from taking 30 pills to coming down to 4, and then from there we started bringing him down, and now he takes 1 pill.
Wow.
And it's like minimum just enough, and he has no epilepsy, and that's 40 years after. And so he's one of the happiest people in the planet. I can tell you myself, like he's laughing all the time. He's so happy. He's so like in his wholeness, because he learned from that challenge. He turned it into an opportunity, and he doesn't get stuck in like his arm is like this, he can't walk that well, but he doesn't live his life from that space of limitation. He lives his life from a place of that limitless expansion of his soul or his essence or his inside world, not depending that much in the outside world. Because come on, let's be real. When you really get to connect with yourself, your essence, your soul, your highest self, however you want to call it, your natural state, your natural intelligence. I call it, many people that say, oh, what about God? I don't know. I question that. And I question the soul. And okay, I don't even want to go there. I don't need to convince you or not. Call it whatever you want. There's a natural, innate intelligence that makes your heart beat. I'm talking to that. And that is going to come back to its natural state once you contribute, because we have to collaborate. If we don't collaborate, we're fighting against it, actually. You want to be in wellness, but you're eating all this crap and all this plastic, and you don't know how to breathe, and you don't know how your posture, and you don't know how to connect with your muscles, and you don't know how to open up parts of your brain, and you don't know how to really relax. Of course, you can go to all the therapies you want. You're not getting to the core of the problem, and you're not helping the innate intelligence of your body to take over, right? But if you do the things the right way, and you don't require to do much, the minimum, your body is craving to come back to its natural state. It's like the river. The river wants to flow to the ocean no matter what. That's just the nature of the river. It's the same. But we got to collaborate when we understand how we can help the body heal, or the nervous system, the brain, whatever part of ourselves, right?
Nice. Absolutely. And it's so interesting that you say that, because that sense of collaboration, I think that becomes even more evident when we do come home to ourselves. We are then able to have a bigger impact, right? Our mission is to help people realize when they're healthy and well, they can be a force for good in the world. That's like what gets us up in the morning. That's what gets us doing our thing. And it's so powerful when you get to experience that and really, really feel it. Now, JuanPa, we obviously want to tap into speaking about quantum flow, which is the program that Jonathan obviously has been now certified on, and that's changing many lives. But before we do, for anyone that's listening that maybe hasn't felt that feeling, that innate intelligence and their true essence, how would you describe quantum reality, the quantum field, and what quantum is all about? Because that word might be a bit confusing for some people that are kind of stuck in that space, living from a place of suffering.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't even talk about, quantum flow right now. It's really that innate intelligence. It's your natural state, right? It's like when you're a kid, you're a baby, and you start discovering life. Like, you're full of energy, you're super creative. I would play with two sticks, in sand or dirt, and I would go for hours. Like, I would create my own stories in my mind, right? It's our natural state. We're super creative. We're super inspirational. We have drive, right? Like, if you love something as a kid, you just want to do it. You go for it, and you can get lost hours. You are in the flow state, right? It's the flow state where everything's flowing, like time disappears. You're not like counting the minutes and, oh my God, you're just loving life. It just feels so good. And that is our natural state, right? So you have energy, you have lots of ideas, you're connected to your intuition. When you meet someone and it's like, oh, I don't know, I have this bad feeling of this person. I don't know why, but there's something kind of weird here, and I'm gonna trust that, Or, oh, I really like that person. Let me go talk to the person. Like, I feel like a good vibe from that person. I don't know what it is, but you can feel it. You can see it. Like, it attracts me or it repulses me, right? We have that innate ability in us to recognize it, but we've lost contact with it. So, right, we feel that first impression with someone, and it's like, oh, but they have money, or they come in an amazing car, or they're dressed with a suit, or whatever mask they put on, and we're like, oh no, they must be successful. Oh no, let me actually, connect with the person. Maybe there's some interest that this person can, help me out with my thing, or whatever story we create in our minds, instead of following that first gut feeling of like, no, I really don't resonate with this person. I don't know, but it just doesn't feel right, And that's with everything: going to a party, reading a book, doing a course, opening a new business. Like, it's your intuition. It doesn't matter how. Going into a relationship with someone intimate, and you're like, inside of you, it's like, not really. There's something that's saying no, but whatever. The person is beautiful, or they are, they have some characteristics that you love, but you kind of know it's going to be dramatic, and it's going to be super draining, and and you do it, and you go for it. And yeah, whatever. It's all a lesson, but it's so draining. And then you're in this drama after a couple of years, and you're like, oh my God, in what moment did I get into this? And we learn, because you can learn through suffering, right? Or you can learn through love. Like, there's two ways, but we've been very wired on learning through suffering, right? It's something that we're just used to. And that's like our anti-natural state, right? Our innate intelligence, our natural state is flow. We learn through love. We learn through moving. We learn through acting from what we feel, from trusting that inner gut feeling that we have and acting from it, right? And that brings you in a place of peace, of inner peace and harmony, but real, not the one we put in social media, like, hey, I'm living the best life ever, right? And then I'm like, whoa, struggling with my partner, or like, I don't have money, but I do the photo on the Lamborghini just to fake that, all that ridiculous stuff that we all do, because we somewhat want validation, and we want to be someone, and we want to be loved and appreciated, whatever your reason is, but it's not real, right? So I'm talking about real. I'm talking about you work so much inside of you that everything that was giving you frustration, anger, sadness, stress, etc., right? That is not part of your natural state. No, I'm not saying it's not human. Yes, we all go through that. But when we learn to transform it, we peak and then we come back, right? We can get lost a little bit and then, I come back. And that's the mastery. You come back and it's like, okay, yeah, there's this challenging situation, but let me actually respond to this situation instead of react, right? And you teach your body to do that, your nervous system, so you don't like stress out and kind of push against the situation, but you kind of go with the flow. That is the innate intelligence I'm talking about. It's coming with the best ideas. It's responding through the hardest problems in the best way possible for everyone, right? Not just in the moment what feels right for me, and then it's a mess because I didn't think about it, right? It's being able to be in the fire, in relationships, in business, in life, and not to lose control. That for me would be the natural state. If we don't want to get there like, oh, quantum and whatever. Quantum means energy. So that's why I call it quantum, because quantum means you are embodying the energy that you deserve to embody since you were a kid. And you had it as a kid, but with time you lost it, right? And then you're kind of like, oh, needing coffee and sugar to have some energy, right? Or some alcohol or some kind of stimulant to feel some kind of happiness in your life. But it's a false happiness. So once you do that work that we can go deeper into after, then you're naturally in that space of like, oh, life is good. I feel peace. I feel harmony. I can actually be here just hanging out. I don't even need to do anything. Wow, this is so good. Let me just breathe. Let me just go to the park and watch nature and watch people and kids play. I'm happy, you know, to give an example, right? But you're just happy with life. Imagine how your business is going to be if you're happy with life. Imagine what your relationships are going to be if you're happy with life, right? It's just next level. Like you are really living the life you deserve instead of the life you think you are here to live.
Yeah, definitely. So what would you say to somebody that's listening and they get it, they're hearing you, they're fired up? What do you say to somebody that then still stops themselves in their tracks?
I would say just to observe it and say, do I like living like this? Does this feel good? No, because JuanPa's crazy, that's not true, like whatever. You know, these guys are always like, whatever wellness, whatever comes into your rebel mind, right? Because a part of us wants to stay in our comfortable space. When you study NLP, when you study hypnotherapy, when you study all the medicines, the natural medicines, you will find that our life is ruled by the unconscious mind. That is not the one that thinks and says this is good or bad. It's all your beliefs underneath, right? So once you understand that, you know that your unconscious mind, since it has had beliefs that have kept you safe until now, like you're alive, your unconscious mind, believe it or not, wants you to stay where you're at, wants you to keep just living the life you're living right now, even if you want to change it, even if you're done, if you don't access those beliefs and see them and acknowledge that you can have a better life, you're going to keep repeating the same patterns, the same habits, getting frustrated, getting stressed, getting angry, saying that's not for you. All this is BS. It doesn't work because everyone's different, but you're not. And whatever cues your unconscious mind wants to put to keep you in the same box. That's how the human mind has been designed. So if you don't do anything about it, you are going to keep just attracting the same people, same relationships. You're not going to grow in your business. You're going to have the same horrible life since you get up and you go to sleep and you think that is normal, right? So once you understand and you're like, okay, let's get raw and real. Are you really happy? For real? Like, no, it's not that you're okay. It's not okay to just be okay. You can be happy. Are you happy? Do you feel peace in your heart? Do you feel peace like with yourself where you're at right now? Because that's the key to change any aspect of your life. If you can be grateful with where you're at right now, not when you get the $1 million, not when you find the partner of your dreams, not when that's okay. When's that going to happen? What's going to help you attract that and be in a higher energy and have more inspiration is to be grateful already for the little things, for the food, for the roof, on top of your head, for your family. I don't know any reason that's real for you to be grateful. For example, right? You start with these little steps and slowly your mind starts getting it and saying, oh, you're right. Like life is nice. I mean, it can be better, but it's kind of good. Yeah. And okay, oh, this feels good. And let me be more aware of how can I keep expanding and growing and feeling better. But I need to be aware that there's stuff that's not flowing the best and that can it be better. And also aware when I make different changes, or like, oh, that feels better. I learn how to breathe. as you were saying, Jonathan, it's like, okay, through breath, you release pain. Oh my God, imagine the awareness that you had just through that. Like, wow, just with breath, I released pain that was the worst. It was killing me. So, okay, that's done just with breath. Imagine if I change a little bit of my eating habits. Imagine if I change a little bit my habits when I get up, how much I sleep, what practices I have, if I meditate, right? If I am in contact with nature, if I read certain books that are going to help me with the mindset, everything is important, right? But you got to be aware, because if not, you're going to be repeating the same thing, and you're going to think that like a kind of okay life is okay.
Absolutely. It just resonates so much with what you said, especially about that unconscious mind wants to keep you in your comfort zone, wants to keep you there, those old conditioned patterns are no longer serving you. Because I remember when going through my process of switching from old mentality of thinking that everything is physical to there's actually more, I felt a lot of resistances that were coming up when I was trying these new different modalities and new breath works and meditations and all these things. And I didn't realize it at the time, but those resistances were the subconscious, were the ego telling, like trying to say, oh, no, this isn't going to work for you. Why bother doing it? Go back to what you know. And that, because it wants to stay in that comfort zone. But I think that's when that awareness comes in, and you're questioning is, what are these thoughts trying to teach me? What are they trying to show me? And what they're trying to show you is that if these thoughts are popping up and they're trying to stop you and bring you back to a comfort zone, that's a sign that what you're doing is working, and to lean into it even more and lean into it and keep leaning, surrender into it. And eventually those thoughts will no longer be there. You're gonna feel, like I said, like as soon as I felt that power of the breath and that pain, that's when everything changed for me. That's when those thoughts stopped entering my head of this isn't working, maybe it's not for you. It's like, okay, now I want to learn more and I want to go deeper. And that's when I found to yourself and quantum flow. And that's when I started to go deeper and connect those different areas, instead of just focusing only on the breath, but it's connecting with my true self, is manifesting, is visualizing, it's changing how I speak to myself. It's all these things start to combine and optimize every area of my life. And that's when I still have these old patterns that creep in now and again when I haven't had enough sleep, or maybe I'm not feeling as great that day, but I'm aware of them and I know why they're there and I know what to do to let them go and bring myself back to my natural state. And sometimes it is challenging. Absolutely. Like I know Charlotte can attest to this. Sometimes it can take me like a whole day to bring myself back to my natural state. Whereas sometimes it can take me like 10 minutes. So it's like you said, that level of awareness. Just because you are aware doesn't mean those old patterns aren't going to try, that subconscious isn't going to try and creep back in again, but it's becoming aware. And then when you're aware of it, it's taking those steps and that solution to actually do something about it, instead of allowing yourself to be pulled back into that old comfort zone that you didn't enjoy, that you weren't happy with, that caused you all that pain and suffering.
Yeah, I agree. That's the way. And that's why, as you were saying, quantum flow means coming back to your flow of energy, right? In whatever way, to your creativity, to your inspiration, to feeling good with yourself. And why that happens is because we address the problem. We address the core of the problem. We're not playing around with the tip of the iceberg. We go right into the core, which has been my specialty in neuroscience and everything I studied with all these different philosophies and ancient wisdom. That's like the nervous system is the remote control, is the hard drive of your unconscious mind. Once you shift your nervous system and you release, you unravel it, because from what we call the body memory, right? Energy, whatever we have lived in our life from the past that has felt some kind of stress or some kind of problem or some kind of contraction in ourselves, that has been recorded like cellularly in our nervous system. Like our nervous system actually contracts, especially in the nervous plexus that are located in different parts of the body. So once you start unraveling these nervous plexus, the electricity that in the past was flowing at 10, 20%, it's opening up now to 50, to 60, to 70, to 80, till you come back to 100%, which is your natural state. And that's when you are full of energy, full of inspiration, full of drive. You don't need anyone to motivate you. You wake up full of drive. You feel so good. But it's because your nervous system is free. You need to shift your nervous system from survival, which is that contraction, right? Every time we had stress, every time there was a problem, and we contracted because we didn't know any other way to act. It was just how our father acted, how our friends did. We never learned that in school. They never taught us that. They taught us all this stuff in the mind, right? To learn and memorize and all these things, but not how to really deal with our emotions, how to deal with stress, how to deal with everyday life. They never taught us that. So everyone got it in a different way. And usually what happens is that we contract because a problem after another, we naturally turn to, come down and like close our shoulders, close our chest, create this tension in our belly, in our solar plexus, close our neck. So all of a sudden we have all this pain here. All the body is contracted instead of being expanded, right? And it's like saying yes to the world, feeling powerful, feeling good. You're like, oh no, let me kind of protect myself, right? Because I'm gonna get hurt. I'm almost surviving, I'm just surviving here because I can get hurt because life is hard and I gotta work so hard and I gotta push so hard, and all these beliefs that we have because of the past. And I was the first one to have the most challenging life, like a really challenging life where I was abused, many times, and I had my brother's problem, and I had addiction problems, and I got like sexual problems. I could tell you like my whole stay, we would talk forever. So I know what a challenging life is. And I can say every time I opened up those challenges into something new, and I've let go of a problem and created actually an opportunity, my life has been taken to the next level. I feel more free. I feel more expanded. I feel more energy. All of a sudden, what was contracting in my body and, not really letting myself live like energetic and inspired, got me to a place of like almost numbness, almost like, oh, it's all okay. Almost like I'm okay with anything, I just needed hardcore stimulation to feel good with life. I was addicted to adrenaline, right? And that's because your nervous system gets so contracted that then you're addicted to even stress, because stress is adrenaline. So there's this pattern that we go into that I don't want to get stressed because I get so tense and it doesn't feel good after. And I get so crazy emotional and so many thoughts and all this negativity. But at the same time, every time I enter this stressful state where I have full adrenaline, it feels good. There's like a relief for the body. So I become addicted to stress. And instead of seeing it as a pattern and breaking free from it, I just start acting from there. When I realize it's a pattern and I can live differently, and I start working on the nervous systems through breath, through movement, through certain points that we touch and we do, right, to release, because there is tension, right? You've seen that one in quantum flow that we do, like on the navel. And once you release your navel, oh my God, you have double the energy just by going deep. And like it hurts a little bit, but it's just, there's so much tension there, right? Since we're born. And when you release that tension and then you breathe into it, give me half an hour and you'll have double the energy, right? It's kind of incredible, but that's just how it works. That's how amazing the body is when you know how to address it, when you know how to bring it back to its natural state.
That you just almost described the story of my life. I completely got stuck in survival mode, completely contracted. It's definitely then fed into the way that I was thinking, the way I was seeing the world. It was pretty dark at times. And it's interesting that you say like that tension in the body, because one of my first experiences with one of your programs was I think the quantum immersion, where it is that breath, where you're putting pressure on the navel, combined with the movement and the breath. And I remember coming out of that and I was like, whoa, what just happened?
Yeah.
And I felt all of that energy shifting and moving, and that played a big part on my own physical transformation there. And I think it's obviously ongoing as always, but it's an option, right? And I didn't necessarily know that before. So thank you, obviously, for that. But for our listeners, what would you say to them if they are now, they're listening, they're getting it, they're thinking, yeah, okay, right, they're aware now, and they want to take some action. So they're already thinking they're in terms of gratitude, they're feeling. So what's their next step, would you say?
I would say breath. That's what the easiest, that takes me faster to feel something different. You need to feel something different. You can hear me talking for hours, right? I love talking, and I can tell you all the theories, and I can give you everything, right? And you'll be like, whoa, this makes so much sense. I feel like that. Yeah, I want to feel like that then, because that doesn't resonate with me anymore. That sounds good, but you need to feel it. And in order to feel it, I would say, let's take some breaths together. Let's learn to breathe like deeply, allowing the belly to expand when you inhale, allowing to really own your lungs 100%. We're used to breathe with 20%, 30% the most of the lungs. Imagine you're wasting 70% of energy, because breath is energy, and you are completely just leaving it there on the table, and energy is money, energy is love, energy is everything. Why do you leave it on the table? Let's start breathing correctly, teaching your body how to do that. Get your body going with some breath, like strong breaths too, because sometimes it's boring, just like, okay, deep breath, that's good. You do 3 of them. But I know when I was stressed, and they would take me like, okay, breathe 1, 2, 3, 4. I was like, okay, I don't have time for this stuff, So I would recommend, let's get it moving. Do some breath. Like you've seen in Quantum Flow, we do some breath that's just like, really get high with the breath. Get high on energy. Get high on like thriving from excess of oxygen at a cellular level. So you understand what it is, clarity of mind instantaneously. Nobody has to tell you about it. You get clarity. You get that mental fog disappears for some seconds or minutes. Just like that. You feel energy. You feel inspiration. You feel something that maybe you haven't felt in so long, and you've been craving it, thinking that maybe sugar and coffee and whatever stimulant will give it to you, and it will not, because it gives you this, and then it brings you back. So get something sustainable, something that can help you every day, every moment, every second, and that is the breath.
Beautiful.
Amazing. Yeah, I could definitely attest to the power of the breath. Like any time where if I haven't had a good night's sleep and I'm a bit brain foggy in the morning, or a bit just not all with it, as soon as I finish a quantum flow session, you can just feel everything is flowing, everything is aligned. And as the one part of the quantum flow I really love is when you really zip it in, you take that extra bit of it to expand. Oh my God, the energy you feel coursing around your head, your body is absolutely immense.
I remember the first time, JuanPa, when I think we were both doing it together, and you were sitting in, and you was like high as a kite, and I'm like, what is this dude smoking? Like, he was loving life, right? And it was like, whoa, and now we can feel that, God, right? It's like one breath is like, whoa. Love it.
Yeah, no, I don't need any more stimulants to get high. That's the thing. I found my new high. I've used them all already 20 years ago. I'm done with that. That's why I'm like, I need something that's sustainable, because I'm gonna be like looking like 60 when I'm 30, and then I knew it, like how it's rolling, because I've seen friends like even kill themselves at 40, 45. I was killing myself at 18 already. So it's like, no, it's another way. I know there is another way. And that was through breath, through movement, through really understanding that. And now, as you say, I just get high. It takes me 5-10 minutes. And then it's like, okay, what's next? Bring it on. I'm ready for life. Whatever challenge, whatever comes through, like you can enter from a place of resiliency, from a place of being centered and focused and strong and powerful, but not reactive, not frustrating, not exploding, and then like damaging everyone around you because you have so much energy, but you don't know what to do with it. That's excessive fire, right? So how can we get in the fire just enough to feel that life and that energy and that craving for adrenaline that we all love, but just enough for it to be sustainable?
Absolutely, definitely. JuanPa, I really want to kind of now take this conversation into quantum flow. Like, I know there's a lot of people listening who are probably interested to know more about it. They've never done anything like it before. So anyone listening, what would you say to them? Like, how would you describe what quantum flow is and what it does for them?
We're really entering the body. We enter the body. We access the nervous system through the breath. First of all, as we were saying, very simple. And then after accessing the nervous system and helping our bodies feel safe, so they're open and they're not like overwhelmed and frustrated. Because if you enter too much in there, you're actually gonna create an overstimuli, which is not the best for the nervous system, because you created too much, you know. So you actually need to cool it down. So we start slow. We start with the breath. We start coming to that, you know, feeling good and peace and harmony and kind of having no thoughts and releasing like mental fog and lack of clarity and all that stuff that we don't really like, right? So, you start feeling that. And then slowly, then we start accessing deeper states of the nervous system, where we also work with the muscles, right? And we activate each one of the muscles, because, you know, we all want to be in good shape too. And, you know, that's part of the thing in quantum flow. When you start doing quantum flow, it becomes almost like a fitness system, but you're working on many parts of your life. It's not just like, I'm just getting fit, right? Because I love fitness. You know, I've done fitness all my life, but how can I do everything at the same time? And yoga just wasn't enough for me. I need more of a juice, right? So if people love more fire and they want to get more into their muscles and their body, and they want to use it at a fitness level, they can do that. And if they just want to keep it more as a breath and like certain specific movements, we have practice for everyone. Very passive, very gentle practices, and very fiery, very strong, very masculine practices. I love them all. So I teach them all. You've done them all, I think, right? So it depends on the person and what they need. So we would guide them to like, hey, for you and where you're at right now, like, this is what will help you. But again, it's really accessing through breath, then through movement. Because when you create certain patterns of movement, you're working really with the left and right side of the brain, and you're reconnecting them. So it's all about the brain. And once you reconnect the left and right side of the brain, you start getting that peace and that harmony that we all crave. Usually we have the left side much more active, which is your rational side, which is your active side, which is your pushing side, which is your like manifester kind of thing, right? Your creator, which is great. It's your masculine. But once you start balancing with the other part of the brain, that's your intuition, that's your creativity, that's your capacity to flow, that's your capacity to be happy. You know, that's your femininity, right? That's opening up to like a more joyful life, right? So celebrating more life, but at the same time, having that strength and that power and that structure of the masculine. We both have both energies inside of us, masculine and feminine. When we balance them by balancing the left and right side of the brain, then we just naturally are starting to live the best life ever, because it's just who we are.
Yeah, I can totally attest. Like what you said there about like the masculine and the feminine. I've always been more in my masculine energy for various different reasons, and it was when I become aware of that, I was like, okay, this needs some work. This definitely needs my attention. And like you said, bringing it into balance, you get best of both worlds in a sense. Well, it's one world, right? Yeah. But you then feel that, and you can go so much further without having to push. Right, it's almost like you're being pulled. You're just being magnetized towards the things that you're embodying more and more. Right.
Yeah.
Big part of quantum flow as well is like burning down beliefs or old ideas. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah. So the first stage, as you know, is grounding. Right. Grounding means let's get raw and real. How's my life for real? Come on, guys. You know, I always tell the students, like, and myself, I do it every day. Like, okay, JuanPa, is my life okay right now? What's really not feeling good right now? Okay, maybe some stuff with the workers, because, here in the land, I work with a lot of people, right? So, okay, I need to talk with that person, or I need to clarify maybe with my partner or with my son or with myself. I'm not feeling very clear where I'm heading, maybe with my business. I don't know, but I get raw and real instead of kind of like, oh, no, I'm okay. Oh, I'll figure that after. And you're kind of carrying that on your back. That creates a lot of stress. So every day before starting, I'm like, okay, how's my life? Even before going to sleep, it's like, how was my life today? Did I share something in a way that maybe wasn't the highest? Did I maybe not share something that I wanted to share with someone and tell them, how I was feeling, or maybe a thought and I was scared to share that thought? Whatever that is, was I loyal to myself? Was I loyal? Did I listen to myself? And did I follow up on that, right? So that's being raw and real with yourself every night, every morning, or whenever you can. Once you start doing that, you're like, oh, why am I keeping lying to myself? Why did I say yes when it was a no? Why did I accept that when I didn't really believe in it? Why didn't I speak my truth when they were saying something I really don't believe in? You start kind of seeing how you play a game that really doesn't feel good. You're not being you. And not being you is not letting you be the power of authenticity. And it's not fighting with people. You don't need to discuss. You can just talk. But you accept the way of thinking. You accept what you're feeling in the moment. Hey, yeah, I'm angry right now. Let's take some space, because I know I'm going to react right now. So let me breathe. I'm going to go for a walk. Let's talk later. Yes, let me be real, instead of like, no, I'm not angry. Okay, let's talk, whatever. And then whatever triggers me, and then boom, I explode and I create a mess, right? That with any emotion. So the first step is let's get raw and real wherever I'm at, right? In any area of my life. Okay, this is what's going on. Once I nailed it, I find out the belief or the mindset. Oh, yeah, I get angry because, my father was always angry. My grandparents were the same. I just inherit that. That's just the way I am. I'm never going to change that. I was born like that. If somebody doesn't love me, then they can't be with me. All these beliefs that are constricting you, because the first one that's suffering is myself when I'm angry. It doesn't feel good. I can be, addicted to the adrenaline and all of it, but sooner or later, it's not going to feel good. It doesn't feel peaceful. It doesn't feel good, right? So I get used to this anger and addicted to it, but it's not the highest. So once I start accepting it, for example, and start seeing it, then I'm like, oh, okay, there's another way. All right, let me release anything that's related to anger. Let me work through the anger. Let me release the anger that I haven't expressed, because a lot of times we swallow it and we don't express it because, oh, you look horrible when you're angry. It's not a good image if you're angry, no, that's bad. Instead of okay, let's learn to use that anger, because actually anger is energy. If you learn how to shift it from your body, right, and you learn how to release those limiting beliefs that anger is normal for you, and you let go of that, all of a sudden you free yourself from anger. So next time you're angry, you learn how to transform that, and all of a sudden you are putting more energy into your business. You are going for a workout and burning out more calories. You are with more ideas, creating a new project. I don't know, but you learn how to use what was stopping you to actually take you to the next level. And I can take, this is with anger, this is with money, right? This is in a relationship, anything. Doesn't matter. Any area of your life, burn those limiting beliefs. I don't deserve money. I don't have a way to make money if it's not pushing and hustling and trying hard. Money doesn't grow on trees. It's so hard to make money. Whatever we have learned from our parents, from our teachers, from our friends, doesn't matter. If it's there inside of you, you're not going to open to other possibilities, other ideas, other inspiration, more creativity, other ways that are available to you to make money that feels good, that you do it in inspiration, that you feel so aligned to your purpose. But you got to let go of the limiting beliefs from the past, because if not, you're just going to keep looping and working in the same ways and feeling that that's just what it is and there's no other way out. So, you know, until you are old and you die and like you kind of didn't really bring all that potential that was inside of you because you got used to being in the limiting beliefs that's this compared to this.
Amazing. It's so I can completely relate with those limited beliefs, especially around money. It's such a big stressor for a lot of people, and especially when, like, I think, like you said, is when you become more aligned when it comes to the money you want to earn or how you want to show up in the world, and aligned with who it is you really are and making a difference in the world. I think that's when that power of manifestation comes in, is when everything seems to flow much easier. Like, one of the things that we realized through our years of coaching clients and getting results is every time, once people start to do that inner work and they start to then think, oh, okay, like, what's next? Like, how can I give back? What can I do to make a difference in the world? Like, I feel like I'm meant for something bigger when they start to really step up into their true selves. And that's why our mission is what it is at Wellness, which is when people are healthy and well, they can become a force for good in the world. And we want our kind of like impact with in the world as Wellness to be as big as we can and impacting as many people as we can, which is why everything we do, we always want to have a give back, whether that's someone opening an email, we help to donate towards 2030 global goals, someone joins a course, someone signs up with us, we work with someone. Everything we do, we want to try and create some impact in the world to give back. And we want our clients to do the same, the people who work with us to do the same. Last year, for example, we ran one of our first big events called Become a Force for Good, which was a non-profit event. We had amazing speakers come and talking about how they make a difference in the world through what they do, stepping up into their true selves. And everything around that event, people who joined the event, all the donations, proceeds from that went to the 2030 global goals, or causes that support the 2030 global goals, because we want to have that impact. We want to be able to give back as much as we can, because people have given so much to us for our journey to get to where we are. So what I would really love to know is, what impact do you think quantum flow is having on the world now, but will also have on the world in the future? How do you think people really kind of embodying quantum flow is going to impact the world in a positive way?
I feel more and more people are coming back to their natural state. More and more people are really tapping into what their real energy is. You know, I call it the inner child, you know, where they're creative, where they can, you know, there's some music, even if they don't know how to dance, they just enjoy dancing, right? Oh, I'm not made by dancing. I'm not a professional dancer. I look ridiculous, right? This rational mind coming all the way, or, oh, I can't sing. It doesn't, you know, but as kids, everybody sings, everybody dances, everybody, you know, you are your authentic self, but we've put all these tags on, like, I can't do that because I'm not a professional. Oh, I look stupid. Oh, that's not for me. Worrying about how you look instead of how you feel. What matters is how you feel. Just, you know, if somebody doesn't like how you dance, just look somewhere else. I don't care. I don't really care how I look when I dance. I care how I feel. And that can be anything: writing poetry, going for a walk, you know, playing a new instrument, whatever. I don't even care what it is, but people tapping into their inner gifts without judging themselves if it's right, if it's not, if I'm a professional or this or not, if I'm an expert or not. Just do it because it's a hobby. Just do it because it feels good. Just do it because it makes you happy. Quantum flow is just going to bring people back to their happiness, back to their to who they are naturally, feeling good with themselves, feeling so much energy with themselves, right? That then they want to share the best energy with their partners, right? Their wife, their husband. They're going to have amazing families. Their children are going to be like so inspired by the parents, instead of having all these discussions and all this like drama and all this stuff that at the end, that's what children learn. You know, we're going to teach them through the acting, through being in a different way, because we're naturally feeling good with ourselves. We're naturally more tapped into our authentic beings, who we really are. As you were saying, we're naturally tapping into our inner gifts, into our purpose, why we came to Earth. We came here for a reason. It's not just to make money. And what? You die with the money, but you die with the music inside. Like, bring your music out, whatever that is. I don't care how it is. I call it heart-centered leadership, right? It's heart-centered because you can be a leader. You can be a CEO. You can have trillions, right? I've worked with billionaires, but they're not centered in their heart. They're not centered into being the real wealth is the real health, right? So when you really embody health, then you can say you're wealthy. There's many people that have tons of money and they don't enjoy life because they have a really poor health. And I don't only mean like physically, I mean mentally, I mean emotionally. They're not happy. There's always a problem. People are always gonna steal stuff from them. They get so emotional, they don't know what to do with it. Their body hurts and it's normal that it hurts. And they have all the money in the world. So what? They're not enjoying it. So health is the real wealth, right? Real health, all the layers of health will become real wealth, all the layers of wealth, because wealth is not just money. Wealth is everything. For me, when you're wealthy, it means you're wealthy in every area of your life. That's real wealth. This has been misinterpreted a lot. And that's what quantum flow is. Quantum flow brings you to that space, just who you are naturally. You feel healthy, you feel vital, you feel good. And then you just start like, oh yeah, this feels good. Let me do this project. Let me help this. Let me come. Oh, I came with this idea. And now I want to partner with that person. Oh, and now I'm opening a new business. And all of a sudden you're doing something because you love to do it. Not just because of the money. The money will come. And then you don't even feel you're working. You know, I don't feel I'm working since like 20 years ago. I don't work anymore. I do what I love. And sometimes I'm doing that for 15 hours a day in many different companies that I have. But I've figured out to have the teams I need to support me doing the things I don't like. So I can focus on my genius, on what I love to do. So wherever I go, I'm doing what I love to do. And I don't feel I'm working anymore, even though I get tired and sometimes it's challenging, of course, stuff that comes up, but I love what I do because I found my passion. I found my purpose. I found who I really am. And that's what I want to help humanity do the same. It's like what you're looking for is looking for you, right? Because it's inside of you. It's your essence. It's your highest self. The best version of you is knocking at your door saying, hey, what's going on? Are you going to stop a little bit and understand that it's all in you right now? You just got to release whatever's holding you back so you can shine again and breathe, you know, your highest self, your full manifestation mode, your full potential again, right? But it takes some time, but that's what we're doing with Quantum Flow. As you know, there's a lot of teachers already. And we're doing as many workshops as we can. We do a lot of free stuff because I believe we have to give a lot back. Actually, I'm offering now 3 scholarships for the next certification because there have been so many people that have been asking me to do it and they can't pay it. And I know, I can see their lives. I trust that they can't pay it. And it's like, okay, the exchange of money, instead of money, their exchange is going to be like, go and commit to teach this to at least 10 people out there. And that's where you're going to give me back. I don't need money. I don't need anything. Just promise. I trust you. You're going to teach 10 people or groups because you can do it with groups and you can do it with people, right? Doesn't matter. Just help 10 people or groups. That's all I ask. And that's it. You've paid your course. With that, I'm happy. Quantum Flow, it's about giving back to a lot of contribution in many ways. I help many orphanages. I help many different groups. You know, it's part of who I am and why I'm doing what I'm doing. It feeds me, actually. It makes me feel so good. That's real abundance for me, right? So that's totally ingrained in me and the system. But I want to do it more and more and more in more ways so we can, you know, be better people, everyone, right? And we can live better and we can support each other and we can start living the life that we deserve.
Amazing.
JuanPa, you are really a shining example of how to honor our sacred life, right? And it's so powerful to hear you speak. I'm very mindful, obviously, of the time here as well. But before we love you and let you go for today, is there anything else you'd like to add to the conversation? Any final words that you think perhaps our listeners need to hear?
I would just tell everyone to know that your full potential is inside of you, and that it's easier than what you think. And knowing that it doesn't matter where you're at right now, if you're broken and you're like living in the basement at your mom's, or living on the streets, or in the middle in the tribe of Africa. I have followers from all over the world, from billionaires to people from Africa, from the tribes. Like it's beautiful. I love it. And this helps for everyone. Don't get lost in your circumstances, momentary circumstances, because that can change any moment. Don't give your happiness away because your life is not the best right now. Focus on what you want to manifest. In whatever way, there's a lot of even free content out there. There's so much you can do if you commit to do the work and release all the beliefs, all the patterns, all the habits that are holding you back from your full potential. It's possible to start that right now. And you can do it with you guys, with any coach that resonates with you, with Quantum Flow. I don't care how you do it. There's so many people out there wanting to help you, but you need to say yes. You need to accept that there's a next level for you, that you can receive some help, be a little humble that way, and know that the doors are going to open up for you more than you know. But start by saying, yes, I want to upgrade my life. Even if your life is good, there's a next level. Upgrading your life. It's possible for everyone. Come back to that, and you'll see how each day it's going to be better and better and better. You're going to look back and say, wow, I can't believe that was me like 5 years ago. Thinking like that, feeling like that, living like that, breathing like that, with those kinds of relationships. Wow, that looks like another lifetime. I can say that. All my clients can say that. You guys can say that. Yeah. It's another lifetime. You start living a different life here on this life. It's so beautiful, right? But trust that that is possible. Don't stay in that little box that, oh, I'm too old. I'm already done. That's not good for me. That doesn't work for me. And all that, that's really holding you back. Never too old. Never like, oh, because you need more money or you need something external. All you need is to say yes and to have that will of wanting to evolve and be a better version of yourself.
Yes.
Beautiful.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for sharing everything that you've shared today. And anyone listening, please pop over to the show notes, because we'll have all of the links in there. So JuanPa's website, Quantum Flow, you can find out more about it, more about what he does, all the wonderful work that he does in the world, and find out more about Quantum Flow as well, and get involved in it. It's some powerful, powerful stuff. I guarantee you it's something, once you try, you can't stop doing. Okay, it's just absolutely immense.
We'll love to send them also one mastermind I recorded. It's small. It gives a nice explanation. And he has a very nice breath work that everyone will love. It's like for everyone. So that's like 25 minutes. It's pretty doable. And also a 10-minute like workout that moves energy, gets you energetic. And that's something that I feel they can enjoy. Those two are for free. And I'd love to share with them, just for them to have a little taste. We can put it in there too.
Oh, awesome.
Amazing.
Thank you so much for that, guys. So we'll definitely put that in the show notes as well, guys. So get over there, do that mastermind and experience it and embody it. You will love it.
Thank you, JuanPa, for everything you're doing in the world, for being you and being a force for good. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone watching. Amazing vibes. Thank you, guys, for the work you're doing, the work you've done. And let's keep rocking it. Let's make this a better world together.
Absolutely.
Amazing. Thank you.